So this video is for the 3.4 activity, and this is the first time that I'm gonna kind of have you do problems on your own. So I'll first do a problem just like it, and then after you watch the video, you should go and do the other problem that I'm assigning. And you might want to do like the practice problems along with me. I'm not grading on those, but it might help you do yours. So here are all the files, so the data tables, the requirements, and the problems. Okay, so let's first look at the requirements. Okay, so we'll worry about naming the sheets later. And I might change this. It might be a total of 5 sheets because I've added the data sheet. We'll see. It will be updated by the time you do this. Okay, so you're going to do problems 7 and 8. Okay, so just get rid of all of that stuff. Okay, and so I'll do 6. And then you'll do 7 and 8. And you'll see that they all are asked basically the same questions. What is the difference between the given value and the average? The difference between the given value and the average. The difference between the given value and the average. How many standard deviations, etc. So the problem that I do in 6, you'll use the exact same steps to do 7 and 8. And remember, 7 and 8 are the ones that are being graded. So 6, I think we can probably paste this into Excel, this picture, so that we don't have to keep flipping back and forth. So if you have a PC, you can do like a snip of this. I already have my snipping tool down there. But if you go to like the startup button, and I think it's an app, and it's snipping tool. It might be one of the Windows accessories. Yeah, there it is, snipping tool. So it looks like this little scissors. And so I am going to just select problem 6. And then I'll do Control C as in Charlie to copy. And then I'm going to want to paste it here. I would say call this new sheet. So I'll just click on sheet 3 and rename it. And I'll just call this practice because these are the problems you're doing for practice to warm up for the ones that are graded. And then I'll just put my cursor up here and hit Control V as in Victor to paste. Ooh, that's way bigger than we need it, but we can always resize. Okay, so then I don't have to keep flipping back and forth. So the part A, so let's just type part A here. And what is the difference between Hoffman's age and the mean age? So Philip Seymour Hoffman was 38 when he won a Best Actor Oscar for his role in Capote. And mean age for Oscar winners is 43.8. So I'm just going to do equals, and I want you to use Excel commands to do this. So Hoffman's age is 38 minus the average age was 43.8. Okay, and then part B, how many standard deviations is that? How many standard deviations is this difference? So the standard deviation is 8.9. So this is less than 1 standard deviation, right? I think the homework also always tells you to just use the positive difference. It's fine. You can leave it positive or negative. I'm fine as long as you use an Excel command to do the subtraction. So I'm just going to do equals this difference and then divided by, and we'll just type it in, 8.9. Okay, so that's the number of standard deviations. And let's say I want 2 decimal places. So up here under general, these are the ones that change the number of decimal places, and we want to decrease the number of decimal places. I have to have my cursor on that box. Okay, and then part C. Okay, so it automatically changes it to the copyright symbol. If you just hit the backspace key, Control Z, or you can hit the undo button. There we go. Then it'll leave it. So there are 2 ways to do this, but I think in the requirements that I want you to use the standardize command to do it. So I'll do it 2 ways, and then without using the standardize command and with, just to show that we get the same answer both times. So remember, in class, z-score we think of as the given value minus the average divided by the standard deviation. So I'm going to start out with an equals, and I'm putting it in a fraction, so I need parentheses for the numerator. So the given value was 38 minus the average was 43.8, close parentheses, divided by the standard deviation, which is 8.9. Okay, so there's the z-score. That is the number of standard deviations, right? That's what a z-score is. It tells you how many standard deviations above or below the mean. So the standardize command, so we start out with equals, and then we'll just type in the word standardize. Parentheses, and then X means the given value, so that's 38, comma, the mean was 43.8, and the standard, comma, standard deviation is 8.9. Close parentheses, enter. And so see, we get the exact same thing. So, whoa, using the standardize command gives us a z-score. So if that ever happens to you where suddenly it zooms out, there's like this little zoom button down in the corner here that you can zoom out again. Okay, and then we can change it to be 2 decimal places. And then part D, I'm actually going to leave a little bit of a gap because here we're going to type an answer. So if we consider usual ages to be those whose z-scores are between -2 and 2, is Hoffman's age usual or unusual? So his age is less than 2, and I'm just going to abbreviate SD for standard deviation. Less than 2 SDs away from the mean, so it is usual. So then you'll just do those 4 things. You don't have to do part C both ways for the graded one. You can just use the standardize command. So I think I'm going to check, but I think that's what I said. Part C, you should use the standardize command. Okay, and then label your answers. I've already done that. Oh, enter the values for average and standard deviation at the top of the page. I think I'm going to take that out. I think what I did a previous semester is I had you click on them instead of typing them in. So I think I'm going to take this criteria 2 out. So the requirements will look different when you have them open. Okay, and then problem 8, basically the same instructions. I've kind of been changing the requirement sheet as I'm recording this video, so I'm going to bring that back up again to see where we should go from here. So at the top, I say your workbook should have 4 or 5 sheets, so 7 to 8 on one page, 17, 21, and 26 on another, problem 29 on a third. And I also want you to, so I say name each sheet appropriately. So let's make a new sheet for problem 7 and 8. And if you want to go do those problems before you look at the next type, that's fine. So sheet 2, let's just name it problems 7 and 8. Okay, so you'll do those. And then 17, 21, and 26. So go ahead, let's just add a sheet right now problems. 17. I don't know if it'll let us put a comma in a sheet name, but we'll try. 17, 21, and 26. We'll just get an error message. Oh, it does. Okay. So now let's go back to the practice sheet. I'm going to do 18, 20, and 22, which are similar to the ones you do. So let's arrow down again. So we get some, arrow down, and then so we have some more space. I'm going to go back to the problems. And 18, this is kind of slanted because I was copying from the book. 18, 20, and 22. So there's 18, 20, and 22. So I'm going to snip again. You don't have to do this part. I'm not grading on it. It's just so I don't have to keep flipping back and forth. Okay, so make that smaller again. Probably make it even smaller. Now this list of points scored in the Super Bowl, I have that data for us on the data sheet, so you don't have to type it in. So that's right here. So let's copy and paste that, and let's just paste it over here. Okay. I would like the points scored in the Super Bowl to fit in one cell. So remember, go up to the line between N and O and just pull it over until that fits in one cell. Okay, so I'm going to do problem 18. And it says find the percentile corresponding to the given number of points. So 41 is right here. And so we have to know how many data values are less than 41. And this one, it's easy to count because it's pretty close to the front of the list. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 values that are less. So I'm just going to go here and C37. Maybe I'll type problem 18 so it doesn't look like a data value. Problem 18. And then make column A a little wider. Okay, so equals 5 over, and then we just need the total number of values in the data sheet. And I'm not, we can look. It starts here at row 22. I don't really want that in my formula, but we can figure that out later. And it goes to 45. So even though, remember, when you subtract, you might think, oh, there are 23 values. There are really 24 values. Because think, if you went from 1 to 10, there are 10 values, right? But if you do 10 minus 1, you get 9. The other thing you can do, let me just delete everything here, is you can say, like, this is 1. I'm not going to type everything from 1 to 20, or 1 to whatever it was, 23. So here's a quick way to figure out how many things are in your list. So just type a 1 by the first entry, and then equals, click on that number, and do +1, and then just enter. So now we have a 2. I'm going to center it. And then just copy that down until you get to the bottom row. Oh, 24. It was right. It was 45 minus 22, which gives you 23, but then there's the 1 extra. So there are 24 data values. And so then it's also really easy to see that there are 5 values less than 41. Okay, so equals 5 divided by 24 times 100. And then they always, for percentiles, they pretty much always want it to be a whole number value. So I'm going to type my answer in a complete sentence here. So 18. 41 is at the 21st percentile. Okay, that's 18. And then 20. So it says use the same list of values. We want to find the first quartile. So you're doing 17, so same steps. You'll have the 54 and 21, okay, and 26. I cut off here, but it's still in the file on D2L. Okay, so we're wanting to find the first quartile. So I start out with equals. Let's go ahead. This one we won't have to type a complete sentence. So we'll do Q1 equals. And let's go ahead and click on this cell. And for alignment, let's click on this one, align right. And then we'll type the command here, so they're right next to each other. There's no space. So do equals quartile, parentheses, and then highlight the column of points, and then a comma. And for problem 20, we want the first quartile. So just a 1, close parentheses, enter. So the first quartile is 42.5. Okay, and then I'm going to do 22. And it wants us to find P80, so the 80th percentile. And so I'm going to type here P80 equals, and I'm going to get kind of fancy here. So the 80, if we go here, so in this box right here that has the font and size and whatever, if you click on this little arrow at the bottom, click on subscript. So I highlighted the 80 first, so I'll go through that again quickly if you didn't see that. So I had just my P80, like normal, everything normal size. So I had P80, oops, P80 equals. And see, I want the 80 to be a subscript, so I just highlighted 80. I clicked on this, and then I checked the box next to subscript and OK. And it leaves the P and the equals. It only changes the 80 to be a subscript. And now let's go and align right. And so we'll start out equals percentile, open parentheses. So first it says enter the array. That just means the data values. So highlight these, comma, and then we have to type the percent as a decimal. So 0.80 or 0.8. So the 80th percentile. And then we can actually go ahead and align right with these two. So they're, looks like we would write it almost on paper. Okay, so that's how you do problems 17, 21, and 26. And then the last one you'll do is problem 29, and I'm going to do problem 30. So click, for you, you'd want to click on this, and let's move sheet 2 in front of practice, and then just call it problem 29. Okay. So I'm going to do problem 30, so let's go back to the problems. Oh, I'm going to do problem 28, I'm sorry. That 30 went onto the, like it was half on one page and half on the other, so it's just easier to do problem 28, because it's right above it there. So I'm going to copy and paste. I don't have the whole question, but that's okay. Okay, so I'll paste that right here, and I'll make it smaller. I'm just going to click on this down arrow here. Okay, and so include the values of the 5-number summary. So the 5-number summary is what I'll be grading on, and then the box plot, that will be extra credit. You can get it, I think the version at school, or maybe the Office 365, oops, that's not what I meant to open. That might have the most recent version of Excel. So remember, My Home, free Office 365. So it might have the most version which does box plots, but older versions won't. Like my Office computer wouldn't make one. So I think I even have the number of English words on my data sheet. Yep. Okay, I'm just going to make this column larger so it fits. Okay, so the 5-number summary, so I want to label the values. So the first one is the minimum, and I'm just going to do min. And then Q1, and then median, and then Q3, and then max. So we'll just type 5-number summary above that. And let's go ahead and merge those cells. Okay. So the min, the values are in order, so I don't care if you just type 34. I usually just do equals and click on it. That's fine. Same thing for max. If you just type the max, that's fine. I usually do equals and click on it. So for those min and max, I don't care how you get them in there. For the other three, you have to use Excel commands. So Q1 is equals quartile, and then you just highlight the data, comma 1, close parentheses, enter. Median is just equals median, highlight, close parentheses, enter, and then equals quartile, highlight the data, comma 3. Okay, so there's your 5-number summary. So that's all I'm grading on. And so now if your version can do box plots, then that will be extra credit. Otherwise, if you've started it early, you can maybe bring it to a school computer and then get the box plot done on a school computer. So to do the box plot, I think we're just going to highlight these 5-number summary, and then we go to insert charts, and notice there's no box plot up here. You have to click on this, see all charts, and then click on all charts. And see, I have box and whisker, but some versions of Excel don't have that option. So I'll click on that and then OK. And there is my box plot. And I would like you to give it a title. And so this is just number of, so it's, I'm going to say words per page. So it's listed below are the numbers of defined words on those pages. So he took a random sample, and then one page had 34 definitions on it, another had 36, and so on. So I'm going to say word definitions per page. Okay. And then let's just check and see that this looks right. 34, yep, that's like about halfway between 30 and 40. Why is my Q1? Seems like it should be right on 40. My median looks good. My Q3 does not look good. Should be at 62.75. My max is good. Okay, so that is just not right, because for sure Q3, it should not be bigger than 70. Well, and Q1 should not be smaller than 40. Let's see if it works if I highlight all of the data instead of just the 5-number summary. Yeah, I think it's better to highlight all the data. See, if this was our full set of data and we're doing the 5-number summary, then the min would be right, the max would be right, the median would be right, but actually Q1, so remember, you look at everything under the median and you find the like halfway point there. And so if we're looking between 40 and 34, like the halfway point is about 37. Yep, that's where it's putting this line, value 37. So yeah, we actually do want to use all of the data. So highlight all of it, insert, go here to charts, all charts, box and whisker. Okay, so let's see if this matches. So, well, it still doesn't look like this is exactly on 40. But, all right, 34 is right. 38.25 is a little bit off. What's that? 53.3, for some reason, the median is a little bit off. 65.5. So, yeah, Excel is just not like set up to do a good job with box plots. I think maybe if it was a really large data set, that it would be more accurate. I think it's the fact that it's small data sets that's doing weird things. Because this is relatively close to what we should get. This was not. But it's still not completely accurate. I'll still give extra credit if you insert one of these into your project, though.